Hi everyone, Emery99 here and welcome to the penultimate episode of Tour de Abandon. The number of abandons in the last few episodes might not be mouth-watering, but today we have over 750 kilometers to be ridden today, 3 stages in Italy, 2 monuments and 2 very difficult stages. Quick reminder, we have just 60 riders remaining in the Tour and Tadej Pogacar is leading the GC ahead of Wout van Aert by 6 minutes 52. First up, it's the Il Lombardia from Bergamo to Como, 246.9 kilometers with Colma di Sormano, the major difficulty of the day. We're hoping for some rain, we're hoping for some crashes, and we're hoping for some abandons. Let's begin. It seems to be a regular occurrence in these final stages. A breakaway of 15 have been formed, but this time not many major climbers. They're taking a rest, but more of the rouleurs and the classic riders, such as Quinten Hermans is here, Van Poppel, Lampard, and Mathieu van der Poel among the riders who joined the breakaway. We also find Emmanuel Buchmann, who is 51 minutes and 26 seconds down on the GC, 18th currently with 77 mountain. He's in the breakaway, the best placed GC rider. The peloton does not seem to have the power nor the interest to chase the breakaway, and the gap is up to 12 minutes. It's good news for Emmanuel Buchmann to move up a few places in the general classification. Oh, crash at the peloton. A 20 rider fall involving Tadej Pogacar, and we have to abandon Simon Yates and Brian Kokar in this corner inside the city actually. Kokar and Yates are out, and we have our first 2 abandons of the day. Meanwhile, Tadej Pogacar and both Wout van Aert have been involved in a crash. They're currently 1 minute 38 behind this 20-man group who have not crashed, but they're keeping the pace quite low. So they're going to be back, but we have 2 abandons already before the major climb. Simon Yates was 7th placed in the GC. He's abandoned. Bob Jungels is now up to 7th, and Mats Pedersen is currently 6th, just 12 seconds behind Warren Barguil. Just the 67 kilometers left now. We're passing a downhill with the peloton. They're taking it easy. They have about 18 kilometers to the next climb, which is Madonna del Ghisallo. And the breakaway has started. It's 10.4 kilometers at 5%, but the time gap now down to 10 minutes 50. Amador and Cavendish have dropped from the breakaway. Now just 13 riders left with 58 kilometers to go. But good news for us, it's that even though the sun is out, we still have rain, although it's not really a heavy rain, and it's just stopped. That is unbelievable. It's just stopped as I'm speaking. It's just so unfortunate. Great scenes at the front of the breakaway, 2 kilometers to go, and this climb may decide who are the favorites to win the stage. Cataneo, Luis Leon Sanchez, Nils Pollitt and Van der Poel are active at the moment. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Buchmann currently taking it easy, riding at his own tempo. Nils Pollitt is down, 15th place in the GC, but he will be certainly not be able to sustain this effort. Cataneo, Luis Leon Sanchez and Mathieu van der Poel currently at the front of the group with 1.4 kilometers left. And there it is, 4 riders have now advanced from the breakaway. Luis Leon Sanchez, Buchmann, Van der Poel and Cataneo, who seem to be strongest at home soil. Meanwhile, the pace is also good, with Mark Hirschi currently upping the tempo for Tadej Pogacar. Wout van Aert not struggling to keep the effort, but Tadej Pogacar leading the peloton in this climb. Tom Pidcock is here. Carapaz and Thibaut Pinot, they want to move up places in the general classification. Mats Pedersen really trying hard, but he seems to be in trouble, while Bob Jungels maintaining his effort well to stay in this group. Breakaway have started the downhill and already more than halfway through it as they come to the Lago di Como after this downhill, but no troubles for the 4-man in front. All eyes will be on the peloton, but the pace have seemed to be dropped with no domestics for any of the riders at the front of the group. Adam Yates is now present in the group, but he's not chose to relay at the moment. Nielsen Paulus and Peyo Bilbao also in this group. Pedersen here too, and they will start this tough downhill. No problems on the downhill for the peloton of 19 riders. They are currently, let's measure the gap, to the breakaway of 5 now. Emmanuel Buchmann also in this group with Luis Leon Sanchez. Let's see, 10 minutes 49. So Buchmann is going to reduce the gap from 51 to 40 minutes as it stands. And he's attacking with David de la Cruz, Cataneo, and Mathieu van der Poel not responding. There seems to be a problem of cooperation between these riders. Mathieu van der Poel now at the front of the group with Cataneo, but Emmanuel Buchmann attacking with 22 kilometers to go. Now it's time for David de la Cruz to launch an attack on Civiglio climb. It's a very underrated climb, 4.3 kilometers at about 10% average. And David de la Cruz making a statement. Luis Leon Sanchez struggling off the back. Cataneo with the counter-attacking move, but Buchmann and Van der Poel cannot follow and are going at their own tempo. Great stuff from the guys in the breakaway. David de la Cruz is the certain favorite for this stage. He has a 45-second advantage on Mathieu Cataneo and also a minute and a half advantage on Mathieu van der Poel, currently the trio leading the stage after the Civiglio climb. We have an attack from Thibaut Pinot to the front of the peloton. Hirschi, Soler are here to support Tadej Pogacar. Latour is also in this group. Burstein Tren is here, Jongels is here, Pedersen has made it back, so it's a 23-man group currently climbing Civiglio. Meanwhile, at the front, it is going to be a solo victory for David de la Cruz, who has 3 minutes on the nearest chasers. What a ride from the Astana guy. The Spanish David de la Cruz wins the Lombardia stage in Como. Attacks behind as Bob Jungels now launches an attack to the peloton. Ciccone following him. Bob Jungels, one of the MVPs of the Tour so far, currently provisionally 7th in the GC. But the peloton comes home. Romain Bardet came 13th, Bob Jungels 9th, and Wout van Aert leads the peloton 12 minutes behind the breakaway, and the time limit is 1 hour and 4 minutes. David de la Cruz wins the stage here in Como with Mathieu van der Poel coming home 2nd. Nils Pollitt and Emmanuel Buchmann gain some valuable minutes to move up in the GC rankings. As for abandons, we just had 2 today. Simon Yates and Brian Coquard are out, with 58 riders remaining on the tour for the final 4 stages. In the general classification, Pollitt is now up to 11th and Buchmann up to 12th. Meanwhile, we had Bob Jungels, Matteo Jorgensen moving up a place with Simon Yates abandoned. Next up though, the first monument of the year actually, Milano Sanremo, 292.8 kilometers. A lot of flat kilometers, but just a lot of kilometers to tire people out with a few downhills in the end. I'm not really confident about the number of abandons today, but hopefully the number will not be 0. The longest stage of the tour, the Milano Sanremo, is underway. We've got 2 sprint gates, 3 KOM gates, and just the 58 riders who will tackle the stage. Let's begin the Milano Sanremo. Well, it seems as though nobody wanted to join the breakaway, so it's going to be a duo from us, Kras and Latour. It's going to be a duo attack on the 56-man peloton in the Italian roads. Well, it seems as though the riders have decided to protest against the stage, which leaves us to a very difficult situation, but to cancel this stage. If the riders are not going to ride it, then why should we race it? So we're going to come up with an alternative solution and abandon this stage in the middle, basically. That's right, if the riders are going to protest Tour de Abandon, unacceptable behavior, we have another stage in Italy and we're going to be riding Strade Bianche instead. These riders have asked for it and now have got it. If you don't care about Milano Sanremo, I don't care about Milano Sanremo too. We are on the way in Strade Bianche. The destination is Siena, but it is not raining today. It is a very hot 35 degrees sunny, which for sure tells us that the crashes are not a certainty. Peloton just left with 58 riders, but surely the gravel sections of Strade Bianche will at least create some racing, and we have a breakaway already happening. De la Cruz, Cataneo, Kirsch and Harper trying to attack, and we're going to follow them for another stage win with Pierre Latour. Looking at the breakaway, we have 11 man up front. Godu now trying to join. Latour is here. Dana joined the breakaway. Pello Bilbao again, another stage favorite, but Mathieu van der Poel is a leading candidate. Oh, crash at the back, and 14 riders are in front, 11 behind, but the crash happened here. 22 riders involved. Steph Kras, one of them, no abandons though. Mats Pedersen is down, and he's now just 2.5 minutes behind the peloton. But again, peloton's going slow. The breakaway has an advantage of more than 13 minutes, so they should be back. The big crash did happen, but unfortunately no abandons. 40k to go, and some of the riders now struggling off the back of the peloton, including sprinters such as Mark Cavendish and Bol. We also have Victor Lafay, Luis Leon Sanchez, and actually Steph Kras from our team. He's dropped first in the peloton, not feeling good today after the crash as well, but we have not had the major crash that we were expecting in the second part of the race. Now to go for the stage win, Chris Harper attacks first. Bit of rest, and then Harper goes again. This time Amador attacks. Felix Gall is here, and Mathieu van der Poel not actively responding so far. Pello Bilbao is currently relaying at the front of the group. Now comes another gravel section. The Tolfe 2.5 kilometers, perfect for an attack is this steep gradient. But Chris Harper looking ever so strong at the moment. Now 14 seconds, 20 seconds the front group. Filippo Ganna tried to catch it. It's a tough job for us with us 64 cobble in this gravel section. They'll come down to the uphill sprint. 2 kilometers to go. Piazza del Campo is waiting us in Siena. Bilbao in front, Ganna in second, and Mathieu van der Poel in third. Who will be the first one to sprint in the final climb? Ganna at front. They're playing the waiting game at the moment. Felix Gall with a good position. Van der Poel a little bit blocked with 700 meters to go. No one placed an attack. It will be the final sprint. In the last corner, Felix Gall in front, Van der Poel in second, but this corner nobody seemed to attack, and Felix Gall will win the Strade Bianche stage ahead of Mathieu van der Poel. Oh, crash there? Yep, crash at the final corner. Calmejean, Van Poppel and Vermerker down. Also is Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez. Tren is down. Durbridge is down. Oh, this corner taking a lot of people. Paint stuck for a little bit. Lafaya and Luis Leon Sanchez also down. And we haven't abandoned. I don't think we do. Zangel. Axel Zangel is out from Cofidis. Luis Leon Sanchez do continue. Well, it was Felix Gall who won the stage from the breakaway, but looking at the general classification, not many changes at the top. Felix Gall up to 12th, Mathieu van der Poel up to 13th, but looking at abandons, just the single one today, Axel Zang was out in the final corner out of all places, and we are now left with 57 riders for the next stage. Now for the final stage of this episode. First of all, sorry for waiting you guys into the new year's. It's been more than a week nearly since I've uploaded the last episode, but I had no time to record it, so apologies in advance. But we have a 225 kilometer mountain stage to reward us, the final one of this year's Tour de Abandon. Really hope we turn this tide around with all these stages with 1 or 2 abandons and have a mass carnage today. Let's see what will happen in Sarnano. The stage has started and we do have a breakaway of 16 riders. Van der Poel joins again. Ben Turner is here. It's actually a breakaway filled with a lot of rouleurs. I mean, familiar faces we find. Hermans, De La Cruz, Luis Sanchez, Harper, Campenarts, and Thibaut Pinot, who's certainly going to be the favorite of the stage with 79 mountain and good form. Oh, crash. How did I miss the crash? I was literally looking at the peloton the whole time. And I've missed a crash. It's Cavendish, Ball and Mozzato, but no abandons. First crash of the day. Still a lot of climbing and downhilling to be done. It's a very up, down, hilly route, en route to the final climb, where the Sassoletto climb, or what is it? Yeah, Sassotetto climb is actually a pretty tough one, with 10 kilometers around 8% average.
Pace in the peloton is surprisingly decent, with UAE and the EF taking turns, and they've brought the gap from 10 minutes to 5 minutes between the breakaway, and I can feel some of these riders at the back, Philipsen, Ball, Cavendish, Mozzato also here, they are currently struggling, and here it is, Standewolf already dropping from the peloton, or at least trying to hang on, with 115 kilometers and a lot of climbing to do, so we might have some OTLs today. Oh, big crash! Oh, I gotta show you this in the replay. That is a massive crash, not in a turn as well. Yates do survive. Do we have any abandons? No abandons. No abandons in this massive crash. 22 riders involved. Latour is here. Burns is here. Jorgensen is here. Bob Jungels is here. Obviously, they will be trying to make it back to the front 13. Just a minute and 30. They should be back, but it's a miracle how there's no abandons in such a big crash. Meanwhile, attacks in front, Thorstein Train getting the points, now reducing the gap to 10 points between him and Peyo Bilbao. Oh, crash at the breakaway, and it's a crash of 12 people, including Steph Krast, but again, no abandons it seems. This leaves it 4 people at the front, not affected by the crash: Thibaut Pinot, Quinn Simmons, Sanchez, and Aurélien Parapintre. Now the peloton is in that dangerous downhill, and there's a crash! Pidcock is down, Ganna is down, Jungels, Pedersen, and Jorgensen are down. Crash in the peloton involving 11 riders, now 12. That Kirsch has gone down as well. What about the abandons? Seems to be none again. There seems to be none again. Kirsch is up, Bettiol and Dillier we are waiting for. And again, no abandons whatsoever in that crash. Just, I don't know what to say. The route is good, the conditions are nice, there are crashes happening, but we're just not getting that abandon right now. The final climb is about to start, and Mathieu van der Poel goes early with Amador and Pinot following, and then we have the group of 7 who'll take it in a more steady pace, or just does not have the legs right now. Sarnano Sassotetto climb is officially underway. Carapaz and Felix Gall attacked from the breakaway, but not a big chase at the moment. UAE just taking it easy. Pogacar has a 6 minutes lead over Van Aert and is certainly the favourite to keep it right now after the dangerous sections have ended. Meanwhile, Warren Barguil, 5th place in the GC, launches an attack. But Tom Pidcock is back in the group and will certainly not lose that many time to the French. Missed it completely, but Thibaut Pinot wins the stage 4 minutes ahead of the nearest rider, which will be either Amador and Van der Poel. And meanwhile, Carapaz and Felix Gall is currently fighting for the 3rd place at the moment. Van der Poel comes 2nd. Amador will hold out to the 3rd place. Meanwhile, the yellow jersey, Tadej Pogacar, launches a final attack. Van Aert cannot follow, and Tadej Pogacar keeps his yellow for another day into the team time trial, where his team will again be one of the favourites. Time limit today 1 hour 27, so no abandons from that either. It's a win for Thibaut Pinot, and it's a disappointing result for us viewers of Tour de Abandon. Here are the results now. Thibaut Pinot wins after 6 hours of 37 minutes of stage, and today we had no abandon. Luca Mozzato coming home after more than an hour, but 57 riders have survived this stage. In the general classification, Tadej Pogacar is 1st, Wout van Aert 2nd, Romain Bardet 3rd, and Pidcock 4th. Their places seem stable. Meanwhile, Warren Barguil and Bob Jungels are gonna battle it out for the 5th place. Meanwhile, we have a plethora of riders making their way into the top 10 from the breakaways. Mathieu van der Poel 9th, Felix Gall 10th, and Thibaut Pinot 11th. They'll be fighting for the top 10 position in the team time trial. Sprint classification is won by Pierre Latour, we can certainly say, with over about 60 points lead on Victor Campenas, if my maths are correct. In the KOM, Peyo Bilbao wins it by 10 points on Thorstein Tren. And in the white jersey, Tadej Pogacar also leads as he's 25 and eligible for the last time. That is going to wrap up today's episode, but be sure to check the final episode as we have a 29-kilometer uphill team time trial up to San Marino. And the final stage is we've actually saved the best for last, Tivoli to Roma. It's one of the toughest stages in Tour de Abandon, 216 kilometers, have cobbled sections, have climbs, have downhills, and actually a circuit with cobbles that are leading to Rome. I promise you fireworks the stage. I promise you fireworks. So be sure to check the final episode. That is me, Emery99, here today on the Tour de Abandon, and see you soon.